You've been chasing money all wrong. Every morning you wake up thinking about bills, debt payments, and that promotion that might finally give you breathing room. But what if I told you that the very act of chasing is precisely what's keeping money away from you? There's a neurological reason why desperate energy repels abundance. And successful people understand this principle so well they never talk about it publicly. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the counterintuitive shift that transforms scarcity into magnetic attraction. Most people don't realize their morning routine is actually programming them for financial failure. And it starts the moment they check their bank balance with that familiar knot in their stomach. You roll over, grab your phone, and within seconds you're flooded with cortisol as the numbers stare back at you. This single action creates what I call desperate energy, an invisible force field that ambitious professionals unknowingly broadcast when they're in financial stress mode. Desperate energy operates like a frequency that other people can sense, even when you think you're hiding it. When you walk into that business meeting or networking event carrying the weight of unpaid bills and mounting pressure, your body language shifts. Your voice carries tension. Your decision-making becomes reactive instead of strategic. People can feel this energy, and it makes them uncomfortable without them even knowing why. This creates a neurological feedback loop that literally rewires your brain to spot problems instead of opportunities, making you blind to the very chances that could transform your finances. Your amygdala stays hyperactive, scanning for threats and financial dangers. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for creative problem-solving and strategic thinking, gets hijacked by stress hormones like cortisol that flood your system every time money stress hits. 3 invisible barriers keep high achievers trapped in this cycle. First is identity homeostasis, your brain's resistance to change that keeps pulling you back to familiar income levels, even when you start earning more. Second is scarcity-based decision-making, where you calculate costs before opportunities, automatically saying no to investments that could multiply your returns. Third is achievement addiction, mistaking constant motion for actual progress, staying busy instead of becoming strategic. This shows up in daily life as constant mental chatter about bills, the way you wince at restaurant prices even when you can afford them, and the bone-deep exhaustion that comes from always pushing uphill against invisible resistance. You work harder, but earn less. You create more, but attract nothing. You chase opportunities that vanish the moment you reach for them. Successful people understand a paradox that most never learn. The harder you chase money, the more it behaves like a cat that runs away from someone trying to catch it. There's a specific neurological switch that separates money attractors from money chasers. And it has nothing to do with talent, connections, or work ethic. It's about energy frequency and neural programming. Here's what gives me hope for you. Desperate energy is actually a learned behavior pattern, not a permanent personality trait. This means it can be unlearned and replaced with magnetic energy that draws opportunities naturally through specific neural pathway rewiring techniques. But knowing this isn't enough. You need to understand exactly how your current relationship with money was programmed in the first place, and why traditional approaches fail to rewire it at the subconscious level where real change happens. There's a reason why 90% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years, and it has nothing to do with poor financial planning. It's because their internal money thermostat was never reset. Your subconscious mind operates like a sophisticated thermostat that keeps you at a specific income level, regardless of your conscious goals or efforts. When external circumstances push you beyond your internal comfort zone, this thermostat kicks in with automatic behaviors designed to bring you back to familiar territory. Traditional goal setting and vision boards actually reinforce the very limitations they're supposed to overcome, because they're built on the flawed assumption that you can think your way out of subconscious programming. You create elaborate vision boards showing luxury cars and dream homes, while your subconscious runs programs that whisper, "People like us don't have nice things," or "Money changes people for the worse." These competing programs create internal conflict that manifests as self-sabotage and missed opportunities. Your conscious financial goals exist in your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of your brain. But your subconscious financial identity lives in deeper regions that process emotions and survival responses. When these two systems conflict, The subconscious always wins because it controls automatic behaviors, emotional reactions, and split-second decisions that determine your financial outcomes. Your money beliefs were formed before age 7 when your brain operated in a hypnotic theta state, absorbing every financial conversation, argument, and stress pattern from your environment. You learned that money caused fights between your parents, that rich people were greedy, or that struggling financially was noble and authentic. These programs installed themselves below conscious awareness and have been running automatically for decades. Willpower and positive thinking fail because they're conscious mind tools trying to override subconscious programming. It's like trying to change your computer's operating system by typing different words into a document. The surface layer might look different, but the underlying code remains unchanged. Financial identity homeostasis explains your brain's tendency to sabotage success whenever you start earning or saving beyond your internal comfort zone. You get the promotion, then mysteriously develop spending habits that keep you at the same net income level. You build savings, then face unexpected expenses that drain the account back to familiar territory. Warning signs reveal when you're stuck in broken money programming. Self-sabotage right before major breakthroughs, chronic undercharging for your services, and the inability to receive compliments or payments without guilt. You might procrastinate on important financial decisions or feel anxious when money flows easily toward you. Successful people don't have different circumstances. They have different internal programming. This programming can be deliberately rewritten using specific neural pathway techniques that bypass conscious resistance and install new automatic responses at the subconscious level. Understanding your broken programming represents just the first step toward financial transformation. Next comes the actual rewiring process that transforms you from someone who earns money to someone who attracts it through magnetic identity alignment. The difference between earning $50,000 and $500,000 isn't skills, connections, or even opportunities. It's a specific identity shift that happens at the neural level, and most people never discover it exists. The money magnet identity represents a complete rewiring of how you see yourself in relationship to money, opportunities, and value creation. Instead of positioning yourself as someone who needs money, you become someone that money needs. This challenges everything you've been taught about working harder or learning more skills. Money magnets actually work less but attract more because they've mastered strategic alignment rather than constant action. They understand that effort without alignment creates friction, while aligned action creates momentum that compounds naturally. Money attractors process opportunities through completely different neural pathways than money chasers. When they encounter rejection, their brains immediately scan for the lesson or redirection rather than personalizing the experience. During financial uncertainty, they maintain emotional equilibrium by focusing on value creation instead of resource protection. Their prefrontal cortex stays engaged while their amygdala remains calm. Millionaires use specific daily practices to maintain abundance programming. Morning identity reinforcement involves stating who they are in relation to wealth before checking emails or news. They scan for opportunities instead of problems, training their reticular activating system to notice possibilities others miss. Their thinking patterns revolve around value creation rather than resource extraction. You deflect opportunities in subtle ways that signal scarcity to others. When someone offers to pay you more, you immediately explain why you don't deserve it. Your language patterns reveal internal programming through phrases like, "I can't afford that," instead of "that's not a priority right now." You apologize for your prices rather than confidently presenting them. The 30-day neural rewiring process transforms your subconscious relationship with money through specific visualization techniques that bypass conscious resistance. You visualize yourself already having the money magnet identity, feeling the emotions of financial confidence, and making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. This creates new neural pathways that become automatic over time. Money magnets understand wealth as energy flow rather than resource accumulation. They ask how money can move through them to create value rather than how they can hold on to it. This perspective completely changes decision-making because flow-based thinking seeks circulation while accumulation-based thinking creates hoarding behaviors. Your transformation requires specific identity statements repeated daily, environmental changes that support new programming, and consistent practices that reinforce the money magnet mindset. You state, "Money flows to me easily because I create value effortlessly." You surround yourself with abundance symbols and remove scarcity reminders from your environment. This isn't about becoming a different person. You're removing layers of conditioning that have been hiding your natural abundance magnetism. Every human possesses this magnetic quality, but most have buried it under decades of programming that teaches limitation instead of possibility. The moment you stop chasing money and start attracting it, you'll realize that abundance was never about the money itself. It was about becoming the type of person that money naturally flows toward. Your identity shift creates the magnetic field that draws opportunities. I challenge you to implement this identity reset process for the next 30 days. Watch how opportunities begin appearing in ways that seem almost magical, but are actually the result of aligned neural programming. Document the shifts in how people respond to you and how decisions become effortless. You already have everything you need to make this transformation. The only question is whether you'll choose familiar limitation or unlimited potential.